So if you are a new buyer in the Cincinnati area, there are going to be a lot of steps in the buying process that you may be unfamiliar with. So I'm going to break down everything you might need to know about the home buying process in 8 steps. All right, I'm going to explain the entire process from A to Z so that way when you get closer to making your move, you know exactly what to do. Let's get into it right now. What's up, it's Victor Pham, your Cincinnati realtor. We are back again talking about all things Cincinnati, talking about all things related to real estate in Cincinnati. So if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to do that so I can keep you up to date on all the latest videos about Cincinnati, Ohio. Also, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you're making a move to Cincy soon. I'm helping people buy and sell real estate in Cincy and the Cincy suburbs all the time. I'm sure I can help you too. And remember, when it comes to houses in Cincinnati, you can always call Vic. Okay, so number 1 in the home buying process is going to be to understand where you are with your situation. Where do you stand in the process of being prepared to purchase a home?
I don't know.
Best way to find this out is to ask yourself a couple of questions. What is your credit score? How much money do you have in savings for a down payment and closing costs? Stuff like that. What is your general situation? If you don't know what your credit score is, that's a problem. Cheapest thing to do is just to download something like Credit Karma. It is going to be the basis of what your credit score is to give you something close to the right range, and it is free. But just a warning, working with a lot of different lenders and through my personal experiences, Credit Karma does have the tendency to be off some on the actual credit score. Sometimes as much as like 30 points or more. I don't know if Credit Karma purposely inflates your scores to keep you on the app or something like that, but it is a good starting point if you want something free. The actual score that the lenders use are going to be your FICO scores. I like to use the My FICO app. They will give you 1 score for free, but if you want access to all 3 of your scores plus monthly credit reports, it's like $40 a month. So a more expensive option, but way more accurate than the free options. But anyway, know where you stand on credit because that is a critical part of getting approved. For the most part, with the lenders I work with, getting to that 640, 650 credit score mark is like the benchmark for a lot of them, to where it becomes much easier to get you approved. And they will scrutinize you a lot harder when you have a lower score. Also, you do want to have some savings. How much savings? Well, that will depend on the type of loan you're going to get and how much the house is. Generally, trying to buy a house with 0 savings is probably not a good idea unless you're getting some kind of down payment assistance, which is a whole nother video topic. Most buyers will have several thousand in savings or more before they even begin the process, which is the intelligent thing to do. Once you have a good grasp on your situation, you can move on to step 2, which is going to be consult with your realtor and your lender. Now, whichever order you do this in is completely up to you. A lot of clients that come to me will already have a lender that they sought out themselves and may already be pre-approved. Other buyers will reach out to me first and establish the decision that I am the realtor that they want to use to help them find their home. Then they'll ask me for a reference to one of my trusted lenders. But either way, that's your decision as a consumer. Decide who you're going to use as your realtor and your lender. Establish that trust factor with them. Talk to them. And make sure they sound like they have your best interest in mind and that you feel comfortable with them. This is a big reason why I make these videos, is to help break the ice a little bit so that when people do actually call me, they kind of feel like they know me already, and it really helps to make both parties more comfortable. During this consultation time is also the best time to make it clear to the realtor what it is exactly you want in a home. What your budget is, the area, the school district, how many beds and baths, all the stuff you want in a home. That way, when you do get ready to start looking, a good realtor who actually listens to you is going to be prepared to show you the homes that fit your needs. So decide who you're going to trust as far as the realtor, which is the one who's actually going to help you physically find the home, and also the lender, who is going to be the one financing the home for you. Then you can move on to step 3, which is actually getting your pre-approval. Now, this is going to be the process that happens strictly between you and the lender. This is where you give them all your personal information, blood samples, DNA, all that stuff.
My social security number. I am sorry. I keep forgetting.
Hopefully they don't get that deep, but you give them all your personal information and they will tell you how much house you're approved to buy and for how much. And it will give you a little letter that says you are pre-approved to purchase a home at a specific dollar amount. Once we have that letter from the lender, we get to move on to the fun part, which is number 4, shopping for the home. Now, this is where you jump out here with your realtor and you physically go start looking for your home. But that's step 4, hit the ground with your realtor and go find the house you love. Number 5 is going to be making the offer. Once you find the house you like enough to write an offer on it, there are a lot of elements in this step to actually writing a contract and getting that contract in front of the seller and the listing agent. You got things like the offer price, which is how much you're going to pay for the home. Your earnest money deposit, which is deposit that says you are serious about buying the home. Inspection date, closing date, etc. Make sure your realtor understands what everything in that contract means, and more importantly, that they can explain to you what it means. And also that they are able to write the strongest possible offer to increase the chances of it getting accepted. Every property is going to be different. Every seller has a different situation, so not all offers are going to be able to be written the same. Make sure your realtor knows how to communicate what you want versus what is feasible to the seller and the listing agent, so this way you are not confused at any point. Once you have your offer accepted, you're under a contract officially and you can move on to step 6, the inspection period. The inspection period is completely optional and it is paid for by you, the buyer. Now, just because it's not mandatory, I 100% always recommend to all of my clients to get an inspection done by a licensed inspector. I don't care if the house is 2 years old or 100 years old, get your inspection. Don't cheap out on it because it can come back to bite you later. You never know what might be wrong with the home that the seller doesn't know about or something that the seller may be hiding. It's always good to get an inspector in there and check it out. And now, if you find something during the inspection period that you don't like, you typically have the option to negotiate to have the items fixed, get a credit from the seller to fix it yourself, or maybe even a price reduction on the home. It just depends on the severity of what you find in the inspection and what you can get the seller to agree to. Assuming you pass the inspection stage and you are happy, you can now move on to step 7, which is the title work and appraisal stage. In Ohio, we generally use title companies to close real estate transactions. Some people use individual attorneys, but for the most part, title companies are the norm. The title company is going to be the ones who actually hold your deposit and distribute all of the money to the correct parties on closing day. The title company also does the title search, make sure everything's clean and there's no liens on the property. They will communicate with you as well as the lender and be sure that all your numbers are right, and they will have all the documents that need to be signed prepared for you to sign on closing day. Now, the appraisal, on the other hand, is something that the lender will do in order to make sure the house is valued correctly. That is another expense as well for you, the buyer. So the lender will make you pay for the appraisal. Once you make it through all that, you can get to the last stage, which is closing day. You'll meet up somewhere with the title agent on closing day. They will give you a stack of papers about this big. You'll sign your life away, and that's it. You're officially a homeowner.
I might be able to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I might be able to do that.
So this is really the generalization of this process. There are a lot of twists and turns and odds and ends that can pop up along the way. But this is the general process for how the transaction will go in Cincinnati, Ohio, and for most of Ohio, for the most part, being as the state functions by the same laws. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit more how the home buying process goes. Feel free to reach out to me if you are moving to Cincy or buying in Cincinnati soon. I would love to have a conversation with you and just see where you are in the process. If you want to watch some more helpful videos about moving to and living in Cincinnati, Ohio, check out this playlist right here. I will see you in the next video. And remember, when it comes to houses in Cincinnati, you can always call Vic.
I might be able to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I might be able to do that.